Welcome to GameMaker Studio, short and simple tutorials. So we're getting ready to build our first game. We have our game idea, and we have our logic. So what more do we need? Well, we're going to need a few things here. We're going to need to have the background for our set, and we're going to need an image for our ball, and we're going to need a splat sound. I've already created these three items for you, and they'll be available in the link below this video in the description section. Please download that before continuing on with the video. Now I'd like you to open GameMaker Studio, which you installed in the first video. Once it's open, click on the New tab. Once you've typed a name, click Create. Now that we have GameMaker up and running, let's go ahead and load the resources we need. Let's start with the background. So to load the background, we're going to right-click on Background and click Create Background. From here, we're going to choose Load Background. And I'll go ahead and I'll find where I have this located on my computer. Once you've loaded it, just click OK. Next, let's load the ball image. Images used in the game are known as sprites. So we're going to create a sprite, click on Edit Sprite, then click File, Add from File. And I'll choose the image known as Ball Sprite. Click Open, click the check mark to close here, and then click the OK button. The last item we need to load is the sound. So within GameMaker, right-click on Sound and click on Create Sound. Then in here, choose the File Open symbol, and once again go and find the file. Choose the file, click Open, and then click OK. Next, we're going to create our game object, the ball. And for this, we're going to need to know our game logic. So I brought up the flowchart here for us to look at while we're building this. So let's go back over to GameMaker. And I'm going to right-click on Objects, and I'm going to go to Create Object. So here for the object, we'll go ahead and give this a name other than the default. So go ahead and type Ball in the Name section. For the sprite, you can click inside this box and then choose Sprite 0. Next, we're going to be working on the game logic. So we'll notice that the first step in the game logic is the game starting. And when it starts, the ball begins to move. Within the object itself, there are options called events and action. An event is something that will happen to an object. Click the Add Events button, and you'll notice there is a button called Create. Create is an event that happens when an object is first created on screen. So the first thing we want to do is choose this event. So here we need to apply an action. The action here happens to be a move action. We're going to choose this drag and drop item here called Move Fixed. You choose it with your left mouse button, drag it into the actions area, and let go of your mouse button. Most actions have options that you can set. In this case, we're going to be choosing the direction we want to go in. If we just choose one direction arrow here, the ball will move in that direction. If we choose more than one, the computer will randomly choose which of these directions to go in. So I've chosen all with the exception of the center. We also have to choose a speed for the ball to move at. Here I'm going to choose 5 as my speed, and I'll click the OK button. So at this point, we have completed the first portion of our game logic. Let's move to the next step and see if a player has touched a ball. So back in our object ball, we're going to add a new event, and this event is going to be the mouse. So we'll click on the mouse and then the left button. So when the player clicks the left button, some action is going to happen. And the action we said to happen is we're going to remove the ball from the room. So we're going to move over here to our actions area, click on Main 1 tab, and in here there's this little recycle bin item. We're going to drag this and drop this over here. This is the Destroy Instance action. I'll discuss the concept of the instance in a later lesson. So coming back to our object ball, we're going to click in this Create an Instance drag and drop, place it in here, and we're going to go under Object and choose Ball. Now we have to tell the ball where on the game screen we want to place it. If we were to choose here, choose values in the X and Y position, it would create the ball in the same place every time. And that's not necessarily what we want. We probably want this to be created in a different location every time. So this is something I did not take into account when I first built the logic diagram. So let me cancel this for a moment, and I'm going to go back over here and talk about this. So one of the things that I didn't talk about in the overview, nor in the logic flowchart, was the issue of where to create a new ball. This is something you really have to take into account. When you're building computer games, you have to think of every single step that might happen within this. Computers only understand what they're told. They don't understand what we're thinking. So I need to go back and change things a little bit in order to accommodate this. The best thing for us to do would be to, during the create event, is to have the ball moved to a random location. And that's easily done under the Move tab with this jump to random position. So here I can place jump random here, leave the settings alone here, and click OK. So now I can go back to the left button event, choose Create Object Action, choose the ball, leave these alone, because as soon as this is created, this portion of our events will run and it will jump to a random location on the screen. Okay, so the portion of create a new ball is done. So the next piece we have to do is make a splat sound. So let me go back to the left button event. I'm going to go to the main one tab and choose this icon, which is the play sound. I'll choose the sound 0 from our list, and I don't want it to loop, so I leave that as false and OK. Now we have to look at, has the ball hit the side of a room? We're going to do that through another event. The event is in the Other tab, and you'll go down here where it says Intersect Boundary. So a boundary in this case is an edge of the game screen. What we want the ball to do is actually move to the opposite side of the screen when it hits a boundary. Go back to our Move tab, and there is this here, which is called Wrap Screen. I'm going to pull this into the actions. We're going to choose from this list on direction in both directions. Okay, so let me go back to our list here. We've actually done all of the steps in our game logic, so the ball logic should be done. So I'll just go ahead and close the ball. To do the background, we're going to do this in a room. So back in GameMaker, I'm going to right-click on Rooms, click Create a Room. Here is where you can set up the basic parameters of the room. I'm going to leave this as is for now. And I'm going to click on Background to start off, because this is how we're going to set the star field. Come down to the bottom of this area where it says No Background, click on it, and choose Background 0. That should place the star field on the screen. The last thing we need to do is we need to put our object in the room. You do this by clicking on the Objects tab, clicking in this area, and choosing the object you want. We only have one for right now, so that's what we're going to choose. And then I come over anywhere on the screen and click, and this will place the object in the room. So we're done. We've got all the pieces of our game together. Now we just need to see it work. So we're going to click on this little play icon here at the top of the screen, and this will run the game. Now that the game is running, we should be able to click on the ball and hear a splat sound, and the ball should appear in a new position. So there I heard the splat sound, a new ball appeared, and it's moving in a random position. The ball is also moving to the edge of the screen and then appearing from the opposite side of the screen. This concludes Tutorial 3. Please move on to Tutorial 4, Sprite Editing.